There is a secret corner of nature we're only now just discovering. A dark and hidden section of the periodic table. It's full of mysterious new elements, materials beyond our reach. These elements exist only for a moment, a flash of atomic collision beneath Gotham, and then they vanish. In that moment, we have to determine, it's our responsibility to determine, are these new things wondrous or horrifying? This is the opening of the Superheavy arc of Scott Snyder's Batman run, where Jim Gordon becomes a CEO-funded, deputized Dark Knight, partnered by a mechanized suit he affectionately calls Rookie. Their adversary will reveal themselves as a superpowered Slender Man with a flower for a face, who wants nothing more than the annihilation of Gotham City. But how did we get here? After a climactic battle with the Joker in the previous Endgame arc, Batman and the Joker are considered dead. But of course, these characters never truly die. Bruce Wayne is alive, amnesiac to his life as Batman, but alive nonetheless. And Batman is still patrolling Gotham, but in a very different form. Jerry Powers, CEO of Powers International, approaches the Gotham City Police with a proposal. Create Batmen. State-sanctioned, well-funded, and most of all, replicable. Powers approaches Gordon first, seeing his experience with the city and the Batman himself as the perfect criteria for the first new Batman. This Batman comes with a sleeker suit, a batarang gun, a skilled team of his very own Alfreds, and a mechanized suit that can be both worn and remote controlled. Gordon finds low-level criminals empowered by strange seeds sewn into their skin. Once captured, those seeds release radiation into the blood to kill their user. Someone is supplying these seeds and wants to stay unknown. Alongside are two B-plots that inevitably cross paths with the main story. One is of a recovered Bruce Wayne choosing to ignore his previous life as Batman to volunteer at a center for orphaned and damaged children, many of which are the victims of the previous Joker attack. The other involves Duke Thomas, an at the time new character whose parents were permanently afflicted by Joker gas. His journey will lead us to the identity of our bizarre new supervillain, Mr. Bloom. Mr. Bloom is a strange character to pin down for various reasons. His design is like Slender Man in his goth phase with an added plant theme. He compares himself to a voracious weed and embodies this by stretching and growing in sharp, spindly ways. On top of that, he has various electrical and fire powers, plus technical skills to rival Batman. Bloom is a dealer of superpowers in the form of specially made seeds. Despite appearing organic, they're technological. An unnatural force disguising itself as organic. Bloom sees Gotham City as a savage garden. Something that appears to be natural, but is actually a manufactured plot of land of various flora that would not naturally exist together. This is all constructed, maintained, and controlled by the rulers or gardeners. People like Jim Gordon, CEO Jerry Powers, the crime boss Penguin, and others of Gotham's high society. This forces battles for territory and nutrients in a kind of gang warfare. Bloom believes that freed of these gardeners, the downtrodden of Gotham citizens could create a more fair and just world, a system where the most worthy flourish. His plan involves two major steps. First, to spread thousands of his seeds throughout Gotham, random chance deciding who inherits their gifts. Just as Jerry Powers intends to create a core of replicable, replaceable, mechanized Batmen, Bloom intends to make more of himself. Second, is to sabotage a Hadron Collider to annihilate Gotham, destroying the city and turning the Savage Garden into a wild field. The opening quote from Jerry Powers gains context to both the events and theme of the story. Beneath Gotham, Powers operates a large Hadron Collider. To explain this in simple means, a Hadron Collider strips atoms of their electrons and hurls them at each other, hoping to create new elements out of random collision. In a way, the Collider is the same as the garden Bloom sees in Gotham, and with the slate wiped clean, anyone can join the land of giants and heroes. Anyone can be Batman, and anyone can be Mr. Bloom, an idea to embody. This is found to be extremely true by Duke Thomas, who discovers his friend Daryl is Mr. Bloom. Kind of. After the Riddler destroys the city in Zero Year, Daryl decided people needed the power to fight and strive for themselves, so he created the Mr. Bloom persona, inspired by the colloquially named Blossom Row. Blossom Row was an old road in Gotham where vagrants and poor children would sell flowers and other trinkets to the wealthy of Gotham. Almost like a tradition, the wealthy would pay exorbitant amounts for these goods, a sort of random philanthropy for the upper crust. This was a symbiotic relationship. The wealthy get to feel good for spreading their wealth, and the poor are given chances to survive. Daryl spread his seeds to those willing to gamble on the chance for power, and succeeds in the worst possible way. A seeded stranger attacks Daryl, stealing his seeds, his mask, and the name Mr. Bloom. At our climax, the usurper Bloom attacks the city with others identical to him in powers and dress. Just as Mr. Bloom believed, anyone can be Mr. Bloom. However, in truth, anyone cannot be Batman. Batman is not just gear or abilities, or even a set of ideals. Bruce Wayne is Batman, and Batman is Bruce Wayne. You replace the working parts, you get a different machine, and machines can be hijacked, just as Jerry Powers takes the Batman name to create an army of mechanized batsuits, and Bloom does the same with those mechanized batsuits to attack the city. Realizing this, our reluctant Bruce chooses to bring back Batman using his final invention, one that would always ensure there would be a Batman. The machine floods the user's mind with an infinite slurry of possibilities, a mental multiverse of Batventures to train the Dark Knight for every scenario. This machine, in truth, could only work on Bruce Wayne. Only he can truly be Batman. The one true Batman returns, and with help from his allies, Mr. Bloom is defeated and Gotham is saved. There are a few prominent themes in the Superheavy arc. One is the inefficiency of philanthropy, and the unintended harm its reliance causes. The story of Blossom Row showed charity does not meaningfully fix poverty. Sure, some get ahead, but it's more of a lottery than anything. And as Gotham developed, Blossom Row went away, remembered only by a few who know the city's history. At the gala presenting the new Batman program, attended by the upper crust of Gotham, Bloom attacks. He begins randomly picking off CEOs, trust funders, shareholders, and nepo babies. People just like Bruce Wayne. While Wayne Enterprises is prolific for its philanthropy and projects to improve Gotham, Gotham is still a prolifically dangerous city suffering under crime and wealth inequality. This reliance on a corporate charity type of system not only tricks the wealthy and the underclass into believing their system of power will save them, a system where gardeners run the garden, but also leaves cracks for people to fall through, and opportunists like Mr. Bloom to sprout from. The other involves what is a hero, who can be one, and who is Batman? Mr. Bloom compares Batman to him, an independent, self-motivated man, a fellow wild weed in the garden. Mr. Bloom exudes a randian great man thinking, where he believes if we could just start off from scratch with no rules, people like him would naturally rise to the top. But this is antithetical to the goals and ideas of Batman. Batman does not want to wipe the slate clean, as in the destruction and genocide of Mr. Bloom's accelerationism. He does not want people left up to apathetic chance. Batman wants to heal the city and help its people. He does not want a savage garden or a wild field where randomly superpowered opportunists can grab control and subjugate the masses. In fact, that's how Gotham got to the place it's in the first place. Beyond the trauma, the gadgets, the iconography, at the core of Batman is hope. Hope that things can be better even in the darkest hour. That the solution isn't destruction. That's giving up. Building community, relationships, and cooperation to prevent abuses of power are the key, and you do not need to be Batman to be that. This is why anyone can be Mr. Bloom. Selfishness in an abusive system such as Gotham is easy. Taking power over others when you luck into superpowers is easy. Building is hard. Community is hard. Altruism is hard. There's a reference to the movie RoboCop in this story. At first, this seems like a cute pop culture reference, but it actually ties to the wider story. If you haven't seen the movie, it involves a future where a corporation wants to make the ultimate law enforcement army, creating automated mechs and cybernetic soldiers to patrol the streets objectively and without emotion. Sound familiar? All of those plans fail in bloody and hilarious ways, until they take the mangled body of one good cop and empower him with cybernetics, creating RoboCop. The key to what made RoboCop work was not the money, or the firepower, or the cybernetics, but the man at the heart of it, the man's hopes and beliefs. And this is why not everyone can be Batman, and they don't need to be. Everyone can be a hero, but not everyone needs to be Batman. People can embody altruistic ideas to make the world a better place. Finally, there's the metaphor of the savage garden Bloom espouses. But here's why I believe Mr. Bloom's savage garden is wrong. Cooperation is a natural part of life. Competition, predators, and competitors exist in nature. This is true, but cooperation also exists in nature. Cooperation is a natural part of life. Human civilization could not have been built without cooperation and altruism. Animals operate in herds to raise their young, and often have symbiotic relationship with other creatures. There's a tree called the Osage orange that bears fruit every fall. Fruit that is so dense that no local animals can digest it. Most fruit-bearing trees spread their seed by bearing soft, easily edible fruit that will be spread and deposited when the animal does its duty. So how did the Osage orange get this way? Tens of thousands of years ago, these trees evolved alongside mammoths, giant sloths, and other large fauna. Their symbiotic relationship went as follows. The giant fauna need a large, reliable source of food. The Osage orange needs a reliable way to disperse its seeds. So, the Osage creates large, tough fruit chock full of seeds out of reach of all but the largest creatures to eat. The megafauna get their exclusive food source. The tree gets to spread mass quantities of its seed at once. Cooperation in the wild. Check out the article, The Trees That Missed the Mammoths, for more on that. I like Mr. Bloom as a villain. He understands the system around him is built to propagate unjust inequalities. But even with his technological expertise and his ability to fight against a cerebral foe like Batman, the tragedy of Mr. Bloom is that all he can think to do to fix Gotham is toss it into a black hole so he can be the biggest, nastiest weed in the garden, and allow a few lucky stragglers to join him. We don't know much about who Mr. Bloom truly is, besides his claims that he has worked in Gotham all his life. In fact, Mr. Bloom might not even be a he. The truth is, Mr. Bloom can be anyone, and anyone can be Mr. Bloom, with enough rage, despair, and desperation against the world around them. Weeds can plant themselves in a garden and grow suddenly and unexpectedly, like the random chance of an electron creating a new element, one wondrous or horrifying.